it's Natasha and thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are going to be doing some double masking, and this is a super simple technique but a stunning result. So we are going to start off today with a couple of basic bits and pieces. I have two butterfly stamps here. These are the Mini Wings collection from Woodware. These are quite old, they're pretty cheap, they're only around $3 or so each, and I think they are still available, at least on scrapbook.com. I will have them linked below in case you are interested. However, go through your stash, because when I was looking at this one, this is the mixed stem Woodware stamp, and that little butterfly would be perfect too. If you didn't have those, then you could go for these types of flowers. That was the mini scented bloom and then the mini garden spray flowers. Anyhow, I am starting off, and all I'm doing is taking a black marker and using the width of my ruler, mainly because I would say I'm lazy, but it's just efficient use of time really. You could definitely measure out a specific width, it doesn't matter. Then I'm going to take some, this is kind of my first layer of masking. I'm using some low-tack tape, some mint tape. However, you could just use some copy paper and put some removable adhesive on the back of it. This layer is not quite as, it just needs to hold up to a little bit of ink, so the low-tack tape is going to be fine. Then in the back of these, whenever I create a mask for a stamp and I go to the effort of fussy cutting it, I always put the backing back on and store it in the back of my stamp, and this is the time when this is going to come in handy. So I don't even have to make a mask. It is made out of the Masking Magic masking paper, and this one is fabulous because this holds up to so much ink. So I don't have to worry about the mask being reused again and again and again. So I stamped my very first butterfly in some VersaFine Onyx black ink. This is a gorgeous pigment ink. Then I stamped my first butterfly off to the right a little bit, so his wings are off the paper. And then the middle butterfly to the left, and then I pop the middle butterfly, the mask on the middle butterfly so that I am not overlapping. So the top butterfly will appear to be kind of the one at the top of the pile as well, so to speak. Because we use pigment ink here, we are going to emboss this, and even though I've put the masks over top of these, the ink is still going to be perfectly fine to pop the embossing powder over top, and it will stick perfectly. This is one of the bonuses with using the VersaFine Onyx black ink. Then I'm going to heat set this. This is just to make my life a little bit easier, add that little bit of shine, and then here comes the magic when we start peeling off the masks. So already it looks like there is a little kind of hidden door of butterflies there, and I love this look. So when it comes to colouring, you know me, do what is absolutely the easiest for you. Today I decided that my Spectrum Noir TriBlend markers are going to be easiest. I'm using the Citrus Green blend, the Green Turquoise blend, and the True Blue blend today. Now, of course, I know you've heard me talk about these. I get questions almost every video. These are 3 markers in one barrel, and it stops you having to chase around your selection and find a light, a medium, and a dark, because they are already there in one barrel, and that makes my life so much easier. This is my type of alcohol ink colouring. This first butterfly was a little bit of a test to see what kind of colouring I wanted to do, but I am just going to keep this very, very simple. It's just starting off with dark in the middle, and then heading out to medium, and then light at the very end. If you want to, you can put a layer of the lightest alcohol ink marker down first and then go back over so that it blends nicely, but I find these blend perfectly well just going dark, medium, and then light. And I'm doing their little bodies fairly dark as well with a little bit of light in the middle. So this is the most simplest of colouring, and as per usual, as always, I recommend that you colour what you are comfortable using. So if that means that you are most comfortable using colouring in pencils, then go for gold. If you are most comfortable using inks like watercolours, that's going to be perfect. If you're most comfortable with alcohol markers, even better. If you are just wanting to use some acrylic paints thin down, that's going to be perfect too. And using a medium that you are comfortable with is usually the way that we are going to enjoy it the most as well, and that's really important to me. Now that we've done the butterflies, I'm going to add a few little details. I'm going to take a white marker pen that is not my favourite. I will say it is not super white, and whenever I put it on top of a colour, it usually lets the colour show through, so it's not like a true blue, bright white sort of colour. So what I'm doing is just adding a few little details. These will kind of sink into the background as well. We might as well use what we have, and you could either use a darker pen to do this, but I figured why not use a white, and that way I can use the same pen on all 3 of my butterflies. So I just go ahead and add a few details. We are going to add a pen to this later on, which makes these absolutely stunning. Now this is the just like a light grey pen. It's the Ice Grey Blend, and all I'm using this for is to give the butterflies a little bit of depth and dimension. So I'm just going to go around the outside of the butterfly. And I know this is a little bit hard to see, but it kind of gives them almost like a little shadow. It gives them the effect that they are up higher kind of thing, I guess, or sunk into the background. Yeah, anyhow, it is a little bit hard to see on camera, but I really like just that simple little grey, very light grey border around them. And then from here, we are going to start putting the card together before we put on the very finishing details. And for this one, I do think this card is, the finishing details are what make this a wow card. So this is the Every Occasion sentiment stamp set from Catherine Paula, and I love this. I do love a good sentiment stamp. I think it's important, and especially since I use them so often, it's really important to keep this one fresh for me. I probably shop for this one the most. I keep my eyes open for good sentiment stamps the most out of anything at all. So this one just says, thanks a bunch. I'm cutting this down about 1/4 of an inch off each side. So just the top, bottom, and side left and right, all 4 sides. And then this way it is going to leave a gorgeous border from my card base. My card base is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. Now I am going to use a corner rounder to round a couple of the corners. First of all, I did opposite corners and I wasn't sure if I wanted to stop there. So you could stop at this point and that would look cute too. However, I decided to go all the way and do all 4 corners. I do love this corner rounder. It was an investment, but I must say it beats all the other ones that I have had. Now from here, as I said, we've got kind of a white on white background. So it's important for me then to create a little bit of separation between the two. And I usually do this with using some foam. Now I have these foam strips. I'm going to use these, but however way you like to pop up your card fronts, that's just fine with me. So pop this one up and then it leaves that gorgeous little bit of border around the outside from our card base. And then it's from here. I mean, this looks gorgeous as is. It looks really nice. But there is something from here that we are going to do. You could add some glossy accents to the butterflies. That would look gorgeous. Or some gems down the middle or something. But this is the Jelly Roll Stardust pen. And this little pen packs a punch. All I'm going to do is kind of put one little strike down each of those little things in the wing. And then in just a second, when I hold this up, you are going to see this absolutely gorgeous effect that this pen has. Now, this is one of those pens that you kind of have to hold yourself back and not do everything and kind of color in absolutely everything with it because it is stunning. And when I turn this in the light here, you're going to see how this just transforms these gorgeous little butterflies. I think this makes all the difference. As I said, this is a very simple card, but I hope that you have enjoyed our double masking technique. Links to everything I can find are below the video, as well as my Buy Me a Coffee links in case you would like to support my channel. But other than that, thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know what you think in the comment section of this card, and other than that, I will see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.